Hello everyone. In this part of the video, we discuss some aspect of alkali metals. Alkali metals are S block elements. Then what do you mean by S block elements? The S block elements of the periodic table are those in which the differentiating electron enters the outermost S orbital of their individual atoms. Since the outermost S orbital can accommodate only two electrons, there are only two groups, group 1 and 2 in the S block. The group 1 are called alkali metals because they form hydroxides on reaction with water which are strongly alkaline in nature. The group 1 includes 6 elements of the periodic table. These are lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium. Many of the alkali metal compounds have been known since ancient times. For example, sodium compounds. The salt sodium chloride has been an important commodity in human activities. Similarly, the potash has been used since ancient times. Potassium and sodium were first isolated by Humphrey Davy in 1807 as products of the electrolysis of molten potassium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide. In 1817, lithium was isolated by Johann August. Cesium and rubidium were discovered with the help of spectroscope in 1860 and 1861 by Robert Bunsen and Gustav Kirchhoff. Radioactive francium was identified only in 1939 as a short-lived isotope from the nuclear decay of actinium by Margaret Perry. These are the various minerals, abundance of alkali metals in nature. Among the alkali metals, sodium and potassium are abundant in nature and occur in large deposits. Lithium, rubidium and cesium have much lower abundance in nature. Francium is very radioactive and is formed in the natural radioactive decay series and in nuclear reactions. All its isotopes are radioactive with short half-life. Now we are going to discuss about general characteristics of alkali metals. The general characteristics include electronic configuration, atomic size, ionic size, atomic volume, density, melting and boiling point, ionization energy, metallic character, flame coloration, oxidation state, hydration enthalpy, standard electrode potential, and chemical properties. Firstly, we can discuss about electronic configuration of alkali metals. They have the general electronic configuration NS1, that is, alkali metals have just one electron outside the noble gas core. We know alkali metals are very reactive, they are never found in the free state in nature because all of them have a tendency to lose the loosely held S electron in the valence shell to form monovalent M plus ion with noble gas configuration, and this character makes them the most electropositive of metals. The next characteristics of an element is atomic radius. We know atomic radius of an atom is defined as the distance between the center of the nucleus and the outermost shell of electrons. Then how to find out the atomic radius of a metal? We know in the case of a metal there is no certainty with regard to the exact position occupied by electrons at any time. Also, it is not possible to isolate an atom and measure its radius. It is impossible to determine the exact radius of an atom. So, in the case of metals, metallic radius is considered. Metallic radius is the half of the distance between the centers of nuclei of two adjacent metal atoms in the metallic crystal. For example, the distance between two adjacent sodium atoms in solid sodium is 314 picometer. So, the metallic radius of sodium is 157 picometer. Then, what do you mean by ionic radius? Ionic radius is the effective distance from the center of the nucleus of an ion up to which it has an influence on its electron charge cloud. Then, how does atomic size vary among the alkali metals? From the table, it is clear that atomic and ionic radii of alkali metals increases on moving down the group. Similarly, the atomic volume also increases as we move down the group. Then, why atomic size increases on moving down the group? We know the radius of an atom is governed by two factors, Firstly, the number of shells of electrons around the nucleus. Secondly, the attraction field the outer electrons from the nucleus. In a multi-electron atom, the electrons of the valence shell are attracted to the nucleus, and also these electrons are repelled by the electrons present in the inner shells. So, the actual force of attraction between the nucleus and the valence electron is somewhat decreased by the repulsive forces acting in opposite direction. The decrease in the force of attraction exerted by the nucleus on the valence electron due to the presence of electrons in the inner shells is called shielding effect or screening effect. Then, on moving down the group, what will happen? Number 1, nuclear charge increases. Number 2, number of shells increases in each step, causing valence electron to be farther from the nucleus. Number 3, shielding effect of the inner electrons increases down the group. The combined effect of 2 and 3 outweighs the shrinking effect caused by increased nuclear charge. So, atomic and ionic size, atomic volume increases on moving down the group. Next we can discuss about another characteristics, density. In the periodic table, alkali metals have large atomic size and large atomic volume. Then density is equal to atomic mass by atomic volume. So they have low densities. As we move down the group, atomic mass increases, also atomic volume increases. The effect of increasing atomic mass outweighs the effect of increasing atomic volume. So density increases on moving down the group. But potassium has a lower density than sodium due to an unusual increase in atomic volume as we move from sodium to potassium. Next we can discuss about ionization energy. Ionization energy is the minimum amount of energy required to remove the most loosely bound electron of an isolated neutral gaseous atom. In each period, alkali metal has the largest atomic size. So, the single electron in the valence shell of an alkali metal atom is attracted and held so weakly by the nucleus. So, it can be removed very easily. So, alkali metals have low ionization energies, being the lowest in each period of the periodic table. We know ionization energy is governed by 3 factors: the charge on the nucleus, the amount of screening by the inner electrons, and the distance between the outer electrons and the nucleus. As we move down the group, the nuclear charge increases, atomic size increases, and screening effect increases. The combined effect of increasing atomic size and the screening effect outweighs the shrinking effect caused by increased nuclear charge. So, ionization energy decreases on moving down the group. From the table, it is clear that the first ionization energy decreases from lithium to cesium. The second ionization energy of alkali metals are fairly high because the removal of an electron from the M plus cation, which has a noble gas configuration, is quite difficult and requires high input of energy. In the table, you can see that the second ionization energy of lithium is higher and it decreases from lithium to cesium. Since alkali metals have low first ionization energies, irradiation with light of relatively low energies in the near UV or visible region can cause ejection of electrons from the surface of their atoms. The ejection of electrons from a metal by light is called photoelectric effect. For example, even visible light can cause ejection of electron from cesium as well as potassium, and this property makes them useful as electrodes in photoelectric cells. Here we see that alkali metals have low ionization energies and have a strong tendency to lose their outermost electrons to form monovalent cations. Thus, they show strong electropositive character or metallic character. As we move down the group, ionization energy decreases. So, the metallic character increases. It can be explained as we move down the group, the metallic radius increases. So, the attraction between the nucleus and the last shell electron decreases. So, the removing the last shell electron gets easier. So, the metallic character increases. Next, we can discuss another characteristics, flame coloration. A flame test is an analytical procedure used in chemistry to detect the presence of certain elements, primarily metal ions, based on each element's characteristics emission spectrum. Then, how to do a flame test? Firstly, take a clean platinum or nichrome wire. Then, the end of the wire is dipped into fresh hydrochloric acid and then into the solid sample under test. The end of the wire should then be placed into a non-luminous Bunsen flame. The color of flame is observed and recorded. The alkali metals and their salts impart characteristic color to a non-luminous Bunsen flame. The lithium imparts crimson red, sodium imparts golden yellow, potassium imparts lilac in color, rubidium red violet, and cesium sky blue. Then, why they form colors when shown in Bunsen flame? Because the ionization energy of alkali metals is very low. So, the energy of the flame is sufficient to excite electrons of alkali metals to higher energy levels. But the excited state is unstable and hence the electrons emit energy and come back to their original levels. The emitted energy falls in the visible region of the electromagnetic spectrum. That is the reason of the coloration. The amount of energy absorbed or emitted is different for different alkali metals, so they impart different colors to the flame. Next, we can discuss the oxidation state of an alkali metal. We know all the alkali metals show an oxidation state of +1 in their compounds. This is because of their low first ionization energies. That is, they tend to lose their single outermost shell electron very easily. Moreover, the resulting monopositive ion have the stable noble gas configuration. So, each alkali metal has a very high second ionization energy and consequently do not form dipositive ion easily. Next, we are going to discuss about hydration enthalpy of alkali metals. We know hydration enthalpy is the amount of energy released when 1 mole of ions undergo hydration. The factors that affect hydration energy are atomic size and charge. In the case of atomic size, the smaller is the atomic size, more will be the hydration and hence higher will be the hydration energy. Similarly, when the charge is more, higher will be the interaction with water, higher will be the hydration and hence higher will be hydration energy. So, in the case of alkali metal, the smaller is the size of the ion, the greater is the degree of hydration. So, the extent of hydration decreases down the group. That is, hydration enthalpy decreases from lithium to cesium. Next, we are going to discuss standard electrode potential of alkali metals. The standard electrode potential are defined by measuring the potential related to a standard hydrogen electrode using 1 mole solution at 25 degrees Celsius at 1 atmosphere pressure. The larger the value of the standard reduction potential, the easier it is for the element to be reduced. That is, they are oxidizing agents. The smaller the value of the standard reduction potentials, the easier it is for the element to be oxidized. That is, they are reducing agents. Standard electrode potential values are measured in aqueous solution. Here, 3 steps are involved in this process. Firstly, solid metal atom converted into gaseous metal atom. Here, the energy utilized is sublimation enthalpy and is positive. In the second step, gaseous metal atom converted into monopositive ion and releasing an electron. Here the energy utilized is ionization enthalpy and is positive. In the third step, the gaseous metal ion react with water and to form aqueous M plus ion. Here the energy utilized is hydration enthalpy and is negative. As we move down the group, sublimation enthalpy decreases, ionization enthalpy decreases and hydration enthalpy also decreases. So we are expecting that standard reduction potential of alkali metals becomes highly negative on moving down the group. But lithium has the most negative standard reduction potential values. We know lithium has the highest first ionization energy among alkali metals. That is, lithium has the highest difficulty among the alkali metal in losing an electron. Also, in the case of hydration enthalpy of alkali metals, lithium has the maximum degree of hydration and thereby the most negative value of hydration enthalpy because of the smallest size and highest charge to radius ratio. So, the hydration enthalpy of lithium is more than compensate for the high ionization energy of lithium. So, lithium has the most standard electrode potential among alkali metals. From the table, it is seen that the variation down the group is not gradual. That is, the standard electrode potential values depends upon the values of hydration enthalpy, ionization enthalpy and sublimation enthalpy. In the case of alkali metals, the most powerful reducing agent is lithium and the least one is sodium. The next general characteristics of alkali metals is melting and boiling point. We know alkali metals have a single valence electron and consequently have weak metallic bonding in the solid state. The strength of metallic bonding depends on number of electrons available for bonding and atomic size. The atomic size of alkali metals are large, but the number of valence electron is only 1. So, the metallic bonding is weak in the solid state. So, the melting and boiling point of alkali metals are low. On moving down the group, the melting point decreases from lithium to cesium because the repulsive force between the non-bonding electrons of atoms in the metallic crystal increases, and also the metallic bond strength decreases with increase in atomic size. Similarly, the boiling point also decreases down the group due to an increase in interatomic attractive forces in the liquid state with increase in atomic size. Next, we can discuss about chemical properties of alkali metals. We know alkali metals are highly reactive because of their large atomic size and low ionization energy. As we move down the group, atomic size increases and also ionization energy decreases. So, the reactivity of alkali metals increases down the group. Because of their higher reactivity towards air and water, they are normally kept in kerosene. Firstly, we can consider the reactivity towards air or oxygen. Alkali metals burn vigorously in excess of oxygen, forming oxides. Lithium forms monoxide, sodium forms peroxide, and other metals form superoxide. All these metals form their monoxide too when they burn in limited amount of oxygen. Next, we can consider the reactivity towards water. The alkali metals react with water to form hydroxide and hydrogen. The reaction rate increases on moving down the group. That is, the reaction of lithium with water is less vigorous and the other alkali metals react explosively with water. The exceptional behavior of lithium is due to its small size and very high hydration energy. The next one, reactivity towards hydrogen. All the alkali metals react with hydrogen at high temperature to form ionic hydride with high melting point. The next one, reactivity towards halogen. Alkali metals react vigorously with halogen vapors to form ionic halide. However, lithium halides are somewhat covalent. It is because of the high polarizing power due to its small size. Today we have discussed about alkali metals and its abundance and its general characteristics such as electronic configuration, atomic and ionic size, atomic volume, density, melting and boiling point, ionization energy, metallic character, flame coloration, oxidation state, hydration enthalpy, standard electrode potential and chemical properties. Thank you.